He simply hates humans. In this mansion he was being bullied and a laughingstock of people around. They were calling him a loser with a 1200 power level who was focused on by the state and finally awakened his F-rank ability. And the ball of light in his hand was his power. It was soft and beautiful and was perfect for the porch. And was not expensive and was not even a sealer, and the guy said that if it wasn't for his kindness, he had been sold for his organs. And he was saying in his mind that there were no good people in the world and promised to himself that he would kill them all. Extinction of all mankind, the world was polluted without warning, without pattern, disaster struck. And the statue of the Imperial Valkyrie has mutated. A 100-meter-tall regiment of stone giants was summoned, and leveled the beautiful city. The Mana Trench was transformed into a dimensional vortex, and an army of aliens swarmed out. Advent Island was completely covered in fungus and overrun by demons. The handmade item shop in Sterculia Leaf City was transformed into a two-dimensional picture book and appeared randomly all over the world. A large number of buildings and humans have been sucked into the book, and there's no way to escape. The falling leaves that float over his shoulders, puppy on leash, things on the right hand, and any object can turn into pollutants. In just a half a year, the human population has plummeted from 12 billion to 6 billion. In a moment of despair, the sealer appeared. They were human beings empowered by pollution. Endless wealth, honor, power, and status flew towards them. At the same time, they were also responsible for sealing the pollutants. They became heroes, the last guardian of mankind. And he was Bai Xing, the protagonist of our story for today. And he had been reborn. He saw those humans and all of his pain came from humans and said that humans should be exterminated. And first of all, it starts at the school, starting with the sealer qualification exam. While he was walking around, the guy tapped him on his shoulder and said that he had been looking for him and asked him if he was hiding in the crowd, and if he knew what would happen if he didn't pass the exam. He was recapping in his mind that the man was Kim Phuket, the loan shark who ruined his family in his previous life. The man was asking why he doesn't answer him and if he does not have confidence. The man told everyone to take a look and asked them if they knew Bai Xing, who had been interviewed on the official program. And the guy beside him said that he was a genius who had tested at 1200 power level 3 years ago, the future of humanity. And everyone was laughing at him and said that he was a loser and couldn't believe he awakened his ability with such a high energy and asked himself what a shame he was. Kim laughed and told him that he was being watched by everyone again and asked if isn't it was motivating. And only by becoming a sealer can he sell for a good price and pay back 1/10 of what he owes. Otherwise, his organs may be found all over the world, and his bones, and his daughter's puppy will love it. Bai Xing just smiled and said to himself that it was exactly as he remembered. In his past life Kim died in a pollutant incident without giving him a chance to take action, and it was really regrettable for him. And he suddenly held the guy and told him that it was so loud, and asked that he sure ate a lot for breakfast. And also asked how much shit does his daughter's puppy have to take to feed that mouth of him. Kim got annoyed and wanted to punch him, but he was just teasing the guy to punch him in the face and said that if he was hurt, he might not pass the exam. And asked how he can explain to the boss if he can't pay the loan and told the guy that it was the one with no confidence. The guy releases him and tells him that he better pass or he will know. And Bai Xing pointed at Kim and told him that he had been marked and they will meet again soon, and not to run away from him. While he was going to leave, the students around him were chatting about him. And he was saying in his mind to keep what they were talking about, because it was human nature. 3 years ago, at the entrance exam site of Huawan City No. 2 Middle School, he recited in front of many people and said that his dream was to become a powerful sealer, and he wanted to defend mankind and seal all the pollutants in the world. Around the age of 16, some humans awakened special abilities that were unique to them. As long as they meet the 3 criteria of ability level and combat, they can become a sealer. That ability was a skill, and power level was the amount of energy you have. Like MP in a game, higher levels allow you to unleash your abilities more often and at higher intensity. The headmaster Pushkin came over and was having a look at him, and predicted his future. The headmaster said that although he can't see what he was going to awaken yet, but he can see him shining brightly among the stars. He thought the course of his life had changed, and his mother could hold her head high and buy the freshest vegetables, and his younger sister could buy her favorite long skirt to cover up the scars on her legs, and his father didn't have to move bricks at construction sites abroad anymore. And he thought he could talk to pretty girls with a straight face. And with that, countless news reports, multiple student loans, and big organizations threw an olive branch in advance. He was overwhelmed by the endless joy, and before he knew it, his powers awakened, the F-rank summon light sphere. A summon fist-sized ball of light with no heat, no effect, and no attack power, only illumination. The goodwill that suddenly appeared in his life instantly turned into evil spirits and poisonous miasma that demanded his life. Having awakened the trash power, he lost his qualifications as a human being. All the benefits were withdrawn, and only the small house was used to pay off the debt. His mother fell ill, and his father, who was set up by Kim Phuket to sign a loan shark contract, took his sister to hide abroad, and he was forced to take the sealer's entrance exam, and only after passed could he pay back the money. And he said that it was all far the same as it was in his memory. Including that girl, when all humanity was extinct only that girl could stay. And suddenly the woman announces that the pollutants for the exam have been released in the campus, and the sealer exam will begin soon. And told them to form their own team to search for pollutants and seal them, and no eternal force was allowed, and the entire process will be monitored and evaluated by the relevant personnel. And now she announced that the sealer exam has officially begun. And said good luck to all of them. Everyone was finding someone to form their team, and Bai Xing was just standing looking at them. This guy saw that many powerful students have already agreed to form a team before the exam begins, and said that it was a bit unfair to other students. And this girl said that sealers who fight alone don't last long, and the most effective sealing strategy was to form a group as soon as possible. And this woman was questioned about fairness, and said that completing tasks alive was the greatest fairness. Family, elders, money and power were also important components of strength. And said additionally that a living sealer was a useful sealer. The girl said that 95% of the examiners had found a team. The level of the school's members was slightly above average. And she reads the record, and it says there that there was 1 A-ranked ability, 3 B-ranked ability, 47 C-ranked ability, and 443 below C-rank ability. And said that in terms of power level, basically all of them were below 100. And then suddenly she saw something and asked how can they have 1200 power levels, and how can a person need a practical exam? And the man said that not only does he need an exam, but he doesn't have a team that wants him. Then Bai Xing saw someone that was E-rank and told it that since they can't find a team, and asked the guy if they should form a team together. The guy shouted to him and said who wants to team up with a loser like him, and it's because they were too close, that he was having trouble leveling up. And Bai Xing said to the guy that its ability was E only. The guy gets annoyed and suddenly punches him in the face and says to stay away from him and go home and drink his mother's milk. And the guy left him, and suddenly the woman came and gave him a handkerchief and said to wipe the blood on his mouth. And told him to be safe, because he hasn't awakened his powers yet. And said not to worry about her. It was a well-known fact that she was an incompetent person with 0 power and 0 power level. And Bai Xing told him that who knows what the future holds. And suddenly a guy approaches the woman and pleads to give him her personal information so that they can team up. The woman answered that her cousin hired a team to help her pass the exam. And she asked Bai Xing if the guy could come along. And she told the guy to take Bai Xing with them. And Bai Xing was asking why Yuexin helped him, and the woman answered that maybe sympathy, and told him not to think too much if he didn't want to. And Bai Xing pleaded with the guy to take good care of him. The guy asked how he knew his name, and Bai Xing answered that he just knew. And said that his light sphere can illuminate the unknown and he uses it to see into his mind. The deputy announces again that the exam has officially begun and pleaded to all teams to enter the school building area to search for and trigger pollutants. All of the students had entered the school building, and this C-rank student Lava Earth was hoping they could find some natural pollutants around there. And this D-rank student Plant Growth told the C-rank captain that she was sensing something in the flower beds through the plants. And this D-rank student Stun Stance said also that she will clear the way, and suddenly she shouted that it was coming. And a big cannibal for leaf demon clover E18, and a cannibal for leaf clover F3 quantity 18 appeared in front of them. And D-rank Plant Growth said that the 4 leaves were too many and he can't suppress them all. And their captain told D-rank Stun Stance to use stun and buy him some time. And so the Stun Stance releases a stun and tells his captain that she can only hold it for 8 seconds. And the captain told her that it was enough and used a lava jet, and all of the leaf clover burned. The captain laughed and said that the raid went well and asked if everyone was alright. D-rank Stun Stance told her captain that it was the core of the pollutant leader, and the captain told them that it should be referred to sealed cannibal for leaf demon clover E18, and he will hand over the task. Once planted, it will turn into a pollutant again, and no longer produce a leader, but a constant stream of cannibal for leaf clover F3, turning it into an infinite resource. And the captain was questioning about breeding, paper, and cultivating a mutated golden 5-leaf clover. And said additionally that the sealed objects were the most precious treasure of mankind and the glory of mankind would last forever. Bai Xing and his team were walking in the hallway, and Yuexin told them to stay alert, cause they will run into pollutants at any time. Bai Xing asked her what she was afraid of. Their captain was a B rank. Bai Xing was asking in his mind that they still haven't found it, and he was losing his patience with the captain. And their captain said that pollutants appear randomly, and they will look again. Bai Xing was thinking that a pollutant has a polluted domain ability, and the polluted domain was a separate space formed around a pollutant that's sealed off from the outside world. And suddenly the captain asked Bai Xing if he could check the warehouse using his light sphere to explore. And Yuexin told the captain that he should have flashlights to use on his own. Bai Xing said that he was so glad to use his light sphere because it was the first time anyone had said that they needed his powers. And got a feeling that they would find it soon. When Bai Xing runs, everyone is shocked when the floor he was stepping on turns into something. The deputy said that they lost surveillance of a group of students and it looks like the only C-class pollutant was triggered. The examiner said that it was okay, and dying was also a common occurrence. And Bai Xing's team appeared in the dark somewhere, and there was a crypt demon spider, C-124. Captain told them to stop and follow his lead and told C-rank sound control to keep controlling the noise, and don't let the demon spider wake up. And he told B-rank arachnid bloodline to go and try to subdue the demon spider. C-rank sound control asked why don't they clean Bai Xing first to reduce the burden. Yuexin asked what he meant, and said that the Ji family's money doesn't include killing innocent people. And the captain said Yuexin's request was an order, and told them to do not talk nonsense. The captain told Bai Xing to stay away and be a good streetlight. This B-rank said to hang up Bai Xing in the ceiling, so they will have a better view. Yuexin told them to be careful because something was not right, and she gets her sword and Bai Xing hold her hand, and she was asking what he was doing and Bai Xing answered that it was a magic sword and they were both incapable of fighting, and so he told Yuexin to let him be a man to protect him. Yuexin got stunned with him and Bai Xing told him not to look at his fragile appearance, because he was full of a sense of justice and responsibility, and he also had a very keen insight. Bai Xing didn't feel any shadow, and there was indeed something unusual. And suddenly he dropped the sword and was calling the second master of the Ji family, Ji Yueguang, to come out. And suddenly the guy appeared and said that he had good eyesight for a loser. And told him to join his research project that was about transferring his power level to him or he will pay for it. He was an A rank and had a black shadow ability. Yuexin was really shocked because it was her cousin. Bai Xing remembers that Ji Yueguang was the one who ordered the crypt demon spider to eat one of his arms and observe the changes in power levels. And spent time with Yuexin to spoil his enjoyment, and Bai Xing called him a scumbag and said that he will get all the taste of what it was like to be abused and killed. And it will be the time to awaken his true ability. And these guys said that it was not good and they needed to stop him or they were done for, and the captain shouted that they need to do everything they can. If they were not careful they would be killed. And suddenly staring at each other and laughs at Bai Xing. The captain said that second awakening only exists in manga and said that it was impossible, and told Bai Xing that if he could awaken, he would have done it by now. Ji Yueguang said not to worry about them and used his shadow power to Yuexin. He choked it and said that they will have some fun, and Yuexin was hurt. Yuexin told Bai Xing to run quickly, and the captain blocked Yuexin and told Bai Xing that if he could take his punch, he would let him go. The hand of the captain turned into stone rock and was laughing to Bai Xing, and the other rank was collecting the demon spider first. Yuexin was saying in her mind that there was no chance, and if she only awakened her power, she could kill them all by herself. Bai Xing told Yuexin that he was giving her a chance to change her destiny, and suddenly throw his light of sphere on the way to Yuexin, and Ji Yueguang uses his shadow wall to cover up, and he was shocked when the light of sphere got passed through his shadow wall that blocks all damage. And the light of the sphere awakened the power of Yuexin. And Ji Yueguang was asking what he saw, and Bai Xing's ball of light can help others awaken. And his cousin, who has been a loser for years, had become an awakener. And so he told Bai Xing that it did well and asked how about considering his previous proposal and work for him. Bai Xing answered that he declined and hated work the most. Besides, he was dead today, and no one will pay his wages anymore. And Ji Yueguang was shocked when Yuexin had awakened the ability of flames. Yuexin turns into A rank with the ability of thermal mastery and power level of 1200. Yuexin was really shocked because she had really awakened, and Bai Xing told her to stop standing and move. And Ji Yueguang told his cousin Yuexin that she got a fierce gaze and she had just awakened, and better familiarize herself with her abilities. And he told the captain to come and play with his cousin, and the captain was on his way to attack, but Yuexin struck him with the fire, and Ji Yueguang was really shocked, saying that it was really impossible, even he can't kill a B-rank sealer in one hit. And so he dived in his shadow and said that flame was a normal C-rank ability, but Yuexin awakened the advanced ability which was thermal. And said additionally that the disadvantages of that ability were obvious, and it can only control heat energy using itself as a carrier, and the attack range was very short. He was almost there, and his shadow dagger could reach Yuexin and kill her. And he was saying that for the sake of the Ji family's bright future and wanting his cousin to die right there. And Bai Xing was just laughing in the corner and just said that A rank ability and 1200 power level, crushing him was as easy as squashing a bug. Ji Yueguang was going to attack Yuexin, but Yuexin also struck him with a fire. After that attack, Yuexin was crying and shaking, and since she was totally naked, Bai Xing gave his coat and told Yuexin that it was normal for her heart to beat too fast in her first fight, and just to get used to it. And told that she had some spare clothes in her backpack and not to catch a cold. Yuexin was saying that she can't really believe it, Ji Yueguang has always been good to him but he tried to kill her. And Bai Xing told him not only that, but in order to take over the family head position, her parents might have also died a horrible death at Ji Yueguang's hand. And told Yuexin that she had to protect her parents with her own hands. Yuexin said thank you to him and suddenly fainted, and Bai Xing was thinking that it looked like it hit her pretty hard. He helped Ji Yuexin to awaken her thermal mastery ability, and after receiving the gift, he also gained the ability she awakened, and he also got 9 power level feedback from her. And suddenly B-rank arachnid bloodline was behind him, subdue the demon spider, and said that an opening, the awakened Ji Yuexin was fainted and still lacks combat power and he can kill him. The demon spider was attacking the two of them, and Bai Xing asked who says he doesn't have combat power. B-rank said that if he can hide once, he can hide twice and he will die today. Bai Xing was thinking that thermal mastery releases heat instantly, it forms a heat energy light once, and Ji Yuexin might have fainted because she lost too much heat, and he was asking what if it absorbs heat. He gets the water bottle and condenses water into ice, and it was an ice sword at absolute 0 degree. He was now in A rank with the ability thermal mastery and had a power level 1209. And now he was asking the B rank to tell him why he needed to hide. This B rank just told C rank sound control don't be afraid, and they will kill him because he knew that he got a trick in his sleeve. And the C rank sound control said not to worry because he had killed a few B ranks who despised him and wanted to bot him some time. And suddenly the demon spider releases the poisonous spider web, and Bai Xing uses 0 degree slash to freeze the spider web to powder. And he was asking if that was all and where was their arrogance. Then it was his turn to strike the spider with his frozen sword, and the B rank was hurt also. Bai Xing said that he still had a lot of inspiration to experiment with, and told the B rank not to die too soon. And he struck the spider's mouth and said what a waste of a lovely spider for him to manipulate, and as he was planning it really worked. He added the spider's poisonous blood and turned it into a poisonous ice sword, and as expected of him, it was really huge. He was saying that the experiment was over and he was going to strike the B rank with his poisonous sword, and then suddenly the B rank said that he can't kill him, because he was the one with the demon spider, and if he kills him, the polluted domain will break. And so Bai Xing stopped attacking the B rank and said in his mind that Ji Yueguang arranged the assassination with the aim utilizing the characteristics of the polluted domain to destroy all traces. And he had to keep the demon spider alive until it was done. And B rank arachnid bloodline thinking in his mind that it was an opportunity, and so he releases control with the demon spider. He was saying that his arachnid bloodline loses control of the demon spiders. It will unlock the polluted domain and run away when it feels its lives were in danger and they had the chance. The C rank was accumulating the power of sound and thinking that Bai Xing won't survive with it. The demon spider was attacking him and he was in trouble. The C rank sound control was giving an attack from which humans were not immune, and it was the sonic slam cannon. Bai Xing was really hurt and it was like he was going to be deaf, because the attack was so strong and he was shouting in pain. And the two of them were really happy, and the C rank said that it really worked, and as long as they were human, they all had the same weakness. B rank arachnid bloodline said to give Bai Xing a chance and he is going to kill him with a sword. Even the demon spider won't let him go. The demon spider was attacking him and he actively changed his ice sword into a shield and blocked the spider. And he feels great with it, and he was saying that from now on, he won't hesitate for a second to kill, and he won't feel the slightest bit guilty. He was now running away with the demon spider, and B rank told his companion to follow after Bai Xing and don't let him get away. And the C rank asked where Bai Xing can go, and told B rank to hold off and he will give Bai Xing another shot and it will be completely deaf. And he saw that Bai Xing was going over their captain's body and thinking that Bai Xing must be trying to threaten them with a hostage. And Bai Xing was just smiling and said that it was not a threat but it was for their own benefits. He uses his light sphere and granted the captain a 1200 power levels to retrieve the body, and obtains the rock fist ability 212 power points, and was thankful for the donations. And his hand turned into a giant rock fist and smashed the demon spider, and after it he used the light sphere again to get the ability of Ji Yueguang. And when the 2 rank was going to attack him he turned into shadow and his ability was to copy. C-Rank said to hold on and he will kill the demon spider and unlock the polluted domain, and suddenly Bai Xing attacks him and vanishes in the shadow. B-Rank Arachnid Bloodline was shaking and said that it would be too difficult for Bai Xing to persist in front of him. And Bai Xing appeared at his back and said to do him a favor and they will do one last experiment. And if he succeeds, he will bring a plague to all mankind and he will send him to hell himself. Bai Xing uses an ability combination, a rock fist forms the base, shadow magic reinforces and fuels it. And heat energy and sound waves combine to form a thermal energy cannon. And it was his special attack to kill Pushkin and he named it Hell Crusher Gold Cannon. Then he releases fire from it and the B-Rank got hurt and burned. And his attack really works and went well. And the pollutant was sealed. He said that the traces inside were clean and so they were good to go. And suddenly the examiner and the deputy were looking at him and asking what he was doing there and where Ji Yueguang was. Bai Xing was thinking that accurately saying the name Ji Yueguang, it seems that they were colluding, and he remembered that Ji Yuexin died unprepared and unjustly in her previous life. And he answered the examiner that it sounded like Ji Yuexin's name and asked if it was her cousin. Bai Xing was thinking that the examiner knows the traits of the polluted domain very well. And when the boss was sealed, all inanimate matter would disappear, thinking that the examiner was part of the whole plan and must be thinking that it would fall into it. And suddenly a guy arrived and asked what happened to young Miss Yuexin, and told the guard to hurry up and take the young miss to the hospital. And so the man called the driver and this woman told them to change Yuexin clothes first. And Bai Xing told them not to worry about Yuexin because she was just exhausted. The butler asked him what happened and wanted his explanation. And suddenly the examiner said to arrest Bai Xing because she had something to ask him too. Everyone was around him and he was a little bit scared. This woman said that her vision has locked Bai Xing in and cannot escape her sight. And the woman deputy said that the exam also had problems as usual, and the man deputy said to get it over with, and he can finally take a long vacation. And Bai Xing told them that they were scaring him, and he will be honest. And asked if they could take away their powers first. And he was thinking that the abilities of these people were not yet clear, and the risk of facing them head-on was too high, and the two most dangerous ones. The butler told him that Yuexin's life was everything to him, and if she was in danger, he would tear him into 10,000 pieces. And those two were both experienced and capable, at least B-class or above, and their power level was not lower than 2,000. Even if he borrows Ji Yueguang's ability to become a shadow, he can't escape 100%, and his secrets will be exposed. And the examiner said that as the head of the examiner of the exam, she has the right to execute dangerous people who may endanger mankind, and told him that if he tells her the truth he will live. And Bai Xing just said thank you for all their attention, and asked them if it was okay to handle important matters one by one. And he suddenly showed the examiner his file and the polluted domain and asked if she could help them pass the exam first. And the examiner didn't answer him and just decomposed his file. And he was thinking that it must be the head examiner's ability, decomposing matter. The head examiner said that each of his fingernails contains an attack that can make him disappear in a single blow, and told him not to play tricks with her. And said additionally if he doesn't confess, he won't get another chance to take the exam, ever. The butler was asking what about their young miss, and the examiner answered that Yuexin will get the highest score getting out of the polluted domain alive as long as he doesn't stop her. And the butler told the examiner although he doesn't know the relationship between him and young Master Yueguang, at least they had reached an agreement for the time being. And suddenly told Bai Xing that he didn't seize his first chance, and took a punch from him first, then he will hear his defense. Bai Xing was saying in his mind that looks like a strength-type shifter, snake, dinosaur. And being able to rip him into 10,000 pieces isn't boasting. And he suddenly shouted that he will talk. And he just said that young Master Ji Yueguang asked him to keep it a secret, and wants to take the treasure from the school. And the examiner said that she can't sense Ji Yueguang's breath and he can't still be at school. And lying has its limits, her patience was wearing thin, and she will destroy his right hand first. She was going to hurt Bai Xing, but Bai Xing answered that it was Headmaster Pushkin treasure, and said additionally that young Master Ji Yueguang had sensed another polluted domain nearby. And the deputy told his sister that Principal Pushkin was the director of the National Superpower Research Institute, and they can't afford to offend him. And this female deputy said that as far as she knew, Principal Pushkin recently went to the neighboring city school to give a lecture. The examiner was analyzing when the polluted domain was conquered, it caused changes in another polluted domain, and asked if Ji Yueguang sensed it and went there immediately. And if Headmaster Pushkin was hiding a polluted domain in the school, Ji Yueguang calls it a treasure. And that's what he was really after. And analyzing that Yueguang didn't kill Bai Xing and the Ji family girl, and they were still useful. Yue Guang trusted her and wanted her to keep them in custody first to avoid leaking the secret. But her concern led to chaos, causing Ji's family to arrive and letting his secret be made public, and she was the one who missed the first opportunity. And the examiner told Bai Xing to take them to Ji Yue Guang immediately. And Bai Xing was saying in his mind that it doesn't matter. After he meets up with him, they will just kill everyone there. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Until next time.